Yes and no. Does it give you more energy temporarily? Is that what the qualification is? Maybe. But do we categorize them as such? No. If caffeine was a controlled substance, I wouldn't do it. For that reason alone. Yeah, caffeine just fools your brain into thinking it's that sleep. And as a matter of fact, you have to mitigate it, actually. Caffeine alters your mood and I love it. It alters the way my bowels work. Is that just the coffee part? It's not the caffeine, it's just the coffee part.
Wait, well, you can always start back.
That's what I tell myself.
Yeah.
That's how I could quit smoking, I swear to God, because I'm like, you can stop a while and then start again if you really want to.
You just don't, the line is you don't drink for today. I don't drink today. Who knows what will happen tomorrow? And then tomorrow I'll say, well, I don't drink then. And then all of a sudden you start racking up the days. Yeah. And pretty soon you got...
Gee, it's almost like how all habits are built.
Months. And then years. I'm not at years yet, but, we'll see.
How long are you at? It seems like you're liking it and feeling good.
Into my 8th month.
That's good.
Yeah.
Really? That's it? No, you know, it explains a lot. Because when I was on Red Eye, it would explain a lot that this motherfucker was drunk or high all the time. He was a miserable son of a bitch. He still seems like he's a miserable son of a bitch. That's the irony. But maybe that's the business model, right? Maybe he just stacks all of his misery in one place.
So it's good. But things are going well. I am busy.
What's it like to,
what's it like to be successful on a network that no one watches during an hour where everyone else is watching something else in the age of streaming? Also, some people are asking what I'm drinking. I'm drinking Hoist, which is got no caffeine in it, for the record. It's like it's a Gatorade-like drink with a lot less sugar in it, if any at all, and very little sugar. The carb count on it is very low. It has a decent amount of calcium. That's this, just for the record. Most days, if I'm not drinking something out of a can, that's what I'm drinking. So,
because we were
this is not an ad.
Talking before. I mean, it's such a cultural shift, and nobody's talking about it.
I ordered it off Amazon, Korean, 68. I saw it because it was like, because of my shoulder issue, I was like, I always go back when I'm injured or if I have a health concern, I always go back while I still treat it using whatever reasonable medical measures there are. I also look at the baseline. Am I getting enough sleep? Is my food good? And am I hydrated? Because a lot of it's just water and sleep can solve a lot of things. It won't solve everything, but it can also help create a nest under which you can heal very well. And so one of the things that I recognized is that if I was having an issue, when I was having an issue with my shoulder and when I injured myself, I was like, you know what? It might be my hydration, just because the amount of work I'm doing and the kind of work I'm doing now is very different from how I normally live, and I'm doing a lot of time. At that time I was sitting, especially, but I was like, as I've been standing up doing the show, I'm static. I try to move around doing the show, as you'll see, on purpose, so that I'm, consistently engaging my body. But standing here doing the show for hours at a time will have an impact, for better or worse, on my body, and therefore I'm trying to make sure that it has everything it needs to accomplish. That's all. And so, yeah.
Because they don't want to talk about anything real or anything that...
Yeah, they don't know anything real, like being in... Is that a 5-star hotel you're in? It is, isn't it?
They don't want to...
She's in New York. She's in New York in a 5-star.
Define what's really happening. But it's a huge cultural shift that a conservative comedy show, and it is really well written and really...
No, it is not.
Funny, and I like that comics can say things on there and they don't have to
be funny. It's a safe space for comedians to come on and not actually be funny. To just be mean without punchlines. It's such a relief.
Act like goons.
Yes.
What are you talking about? It's in the contract. You can't be on Gutfeld's show unless you come on and act like a goon.
They aren't dancing with hypodermic needles and shit like that. But
that must be a bit they're referencing to something else.
You're saying something, and it's a cultural shift because it's more to the conservative side And these guys, I mean,
First of all, no. He lifts jokes from Crowder all the fucking time. They've got a way bigger audience. Crowder's an asshole, but he's got a much bigger audience. Even, I mean, I think he's lost his mind, but there's some trick going on there, and I don't care. But Crowder's had a much bigger audience than Gutfeld will ever have, and that's where he gets a lot of his bullshit from. He just basically lifts it from Crowder episodes.
and they're just drowning in unfunny.
And they're scared.
Mm-hmm.
They're scared.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, me and the sexy liberals, we're just terrified. Terrified. I gotta say, doing the sexy liberal comedy tour as successful as it is, and being picked up by Live Nation as we are, and we're coming to Madison, Wisconsin next, and Kentucky, and of course Seattle, right after that, and on throughout it. And of course, stacking on. It's even more terrifying that we're adding Nerd Halen dates on either side of them, either on the Friday night before or the Sunday afterwards. That just my thing is just. I'm terrified when I do that show that in my 20-minute set I will not have enough time to cram the hour's worth of material that I have. Just saying.
I do think it all came down to speech, because think about the shift.
Yeah, well, it's certainly not about punchlines or comedy or anything like that. It's just speech. If you could just get on Fox and talk, and they deliver a certain level of audience to you, and people grudge watch your show to just guarantee it's got numbers, and then you're kind of set, I guess.
The fact that like you're no longer in this camp